Here we go with another hunt. You're riding shotgun today with the last Deadeye. I'm not here to waste your time, so let's just get right into it. I'm free roaming. I'm going into my menu, I'm selecting online, and then I'm selecting free roam. I've just loaded in. I'm at Benedict Point, southeast of Tumbleweed. It's in the New Austin state on the west side of the map. First thing I like to do when I free roam in this area is run into this hut, grab the moonshine, eat some canned beef or canned meat, pick up another canned meat and replace the one I just ate. There are some other things in this room as well. Most of them I'm either full on or I don't want. Particularly, there is some cocaine gum. There is, I believe, hair promenade, some ground coffee, maybe some other things that I'm not recalling. Take a look, peek around. You know how to find loot. So, second thing that I'll do here is I'm looking for birds in some static spawn locations that I know of, which you'll see later in the show. And then the third thing, I run inside and I see what mission Hector is offering. He's offering caravan escort at the moment, so that's a fail. So what I like to do is then run back outside the building. That's important. You do not want to be within the spawn zone or talking zone or the area of Hector when you free roam. That tends to bug him out when you load back in for some reason. He'll say to you, "Oh, I have nothing to offer you right now." So you want to make sure you get away from him. So when I get away from him, I check the spawn points for the birds a second time. And as you can just see, a couple seconds ago, I just shot the rock below this vulture. That was a static spawn point for vultures, which I was unable to feature in the previous episode. So now you have seen the third static spawn point. So that's the vulture. And then up, I just peeked at the eagle, and now I just peeked at the hawk spot. So I'm looking back and forth at each one, back and forth, because by looking at it and then looking away, that tends to force a spawn to occur where the birds will show up sometimes. It doesn't work all the time, but sometimes you can force spawn birds. See right there, that eagle on that ridge was not there just a couple seconds ago. I look away and I look back, boom, there it is. So you shoot the rock underneath of it, you get it to fly away from the rock some, and then shoot the bird because you don't want it to die up on that ridge. Keep an eye in the sky too. Watch for stuff flying around because there are condor which you might catch, or perhaps another eagle, hawk, or vulture just randomly flying about. I'm going to check this hawk spawn over here. It would be nice to be able to bag all three of them in the same load, but that doesn't always happen. There's no hawk there, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go into free roam. Select that online option, go to free roam, then confirm that you're going to not save anything, which I don't even know why that confirmation page is really there, because you don't save anything in the online mode. Anyways, it's all saved server side, so why are they asking you if you want to save is beyond me. Anyhow, now we are loading back in to Benedict Point. And we're going to run over, get another moonshine, because I use moonshine to craft incendiary buckshot, which is a pamphlet you can get from the fence. It's great in PvP. And since I do this method at Benedict Point, I try to use as much incendiary buckshot as I can instead of animal fat, or balance it out. Like if I'm full on animal fat, but I'm low on moonshine, then I might use my explosive ammo as a priority. If I'm low on animal fat but full on moonshine, then vice versa. I'll try and use incendiary buckshot as a priority. However, okay, you can see the vulture is at the static spawn again over in the left corner of the screen. Now I'm facing directly at it. And I'm going to go check the eagle. And now the eagle's there too. Now the eagle's worth more, the carcass. So if I ended up going back to the butcher, I'm going to want to bag that eagle instead. But I didn't check the stars on both birds. Now the vulture feathers I believe are $1.20 and the eagle feathers I believe are $1.50. So if you have to choose, pick the eagle. And when you're skinning these birds, keep an eye on how many feathers you're getting off of each one to make sure you have a count either in your mind or Maybe you use some sort of a notepad option on your phone, or you can just, throw a couple numbers into a text document or something, or a scratch pad where you can just write it down. So that way you know in your mind how many more feathers you can hold for each species. Alternatively, you could just look in your satchel to see how many you have, but I find that to be somewhat tedious, going into the satchel and then going into where the feathers are. I don't know, for some reason that just rubs me the wrong way. I like just seeing a document of some sort. I use my phone, just sitting here right by my monitor. That's what I do. But the point of keeping record, obviously, is so you don't fill up and are skinning birds and not getting feathers off of them. I like to head to the butcher when I have more than 7 feathers, because then the next time I skin a bird, I'm going to possibly be losing a feather. So anytime I have more than 7 of either eagle, hawk, vulture, or condor, then I hopefully will have a couple carcasses to have thrown on my horse with them, head to the butcher, and sell during one of my sessions free roaming. This method results in potentially higher gold return per hour. Even though it's not really featured in this video, you are getting Hector to offer you different missions faster than if you're running to the butcher over and over and over and not freeloading at all. So I believe that if your focus is gold, you're going to want to use this tactic in order to get an on the hunt mission over the previous tactic that I featured of heading to the butcher repeatedly. The reason that the previous video shows a higher earning per hour of gold, which is contrary to what I'm telling you right now, is because that video only featured a couple minutes where I was getting caravan escort being offered to me, and I got really lucky then that he gave me on the hunt, because I could have kept going to him for another 30 minutes where he was offering me caravan escort, whereas I can free roam with this method and every couple of minutes get him to offer me a different mission. So you can see how this method here can be more gold focused, whereas the previous method I featured is more balanced, where you're going to see more money in XP per hour, along with still a decent gold return. I kind of like both methods. I'm torn between which one, because I'm not real fond of loading screens. So to be free roaming over and over is kind of like boring. I'm not going to lie. It's just boring to sit there for a load screen for a minute. So I really like to be able to play without having to free roam. But then sometimes you just feel like it's necessary. You have a mission where you just want to earn some gold, or you want to earn some money, and free roaming is the way to do it fastest. So sometimes that's just got to get down and dirty and do it. But I've offered you now 2 different methods, the free roaming method and the method shown in the previous video, on how to tackle earning gold, money, and XP. And now you can focus and tune it to how you want to do it. At this point in this session, we've hit the birds up. We're going to go see what Hector has to offer for us. And it's delivery. So no, we don't want to do delivery. So we'll step back outside. The birds could respawn just in an instant, just like that. So it doesn't hurt to take a peek again. Every once in a while you might get lucky and get 2 eagles. I think that's happened. Might actually happen in this video. Looks like I'm going to head to the butcher here, doesn't it? I think I'm going to stop and pick currant up there. There's some black currant. So that black currant is one of the ingredients for making special snake oil, I believe, is one of the things, and horse meal. It's used for that as well. Maybe something else that I'm forgetting. But I like to have it be full on it, and when I come across the fire, you know, I just craft whatever I can. I usually have priorities what I will craft before other things, but I like to walk away from fireplaces not being able to craft anything when I'm done. One reason I don't like to pick up ground coffee, because I'm not going to sit there and craft coffee over and over and over and keep drinking it. I can't save it for later. So I've gone into my inventory, discarded coffee. I try not to pick it up. Sometimes I accidentally pick it up, but for the most part I avoid ground coffee. I got kind of lucky here coming across this other condor on my way to the butcher and having an opening. At this point I'm checking the map. I'm looking at that cougar spawn location, and I see there's another player over there. So I decided not to go get that cougar. I wasn't really sure if I was north of Tumbleweed either. I hadn't really paid too much attention to my mini-map. And if I was north of Tumbleweed or close to that cougar, I wanted to make sure that I would take advantage of that situation. But after investigating further, I opted out of doing that option. If that cougar was available for the taking and happened to be a 3-star, and I got a perfect kill and got back to the butcher with it, that you can do in about 3 minutes round trip from that spot that I would have started at in order to get all the way back to the butcher. You could do that. And it comes out to almost $450 an hour. So it would have boosted the profits on this run considerably. I would have actually made $100.95, I believe, is what my total would have been, instead of $79.70. But here we earned $37.05 in the first 12 minutes and 7 seconds. As you can see there, I've added it on the screen down below the entire total for the hunt. And that comes out to $183.47 per hour we've made up to that point where we sold at the butcher. You could free roam in Tumbleweed, but you have another option of running back to Benedict Point and talking to Hector again, because it's possible that he has changed missions in the time that it took you to go up to the butcher and back. So if you want to maybe freeload one less time and explore that option, it doesn't hurt. You're going to be running back down here anyhow after free roaming in Tumbleweed. So no matter what, you're going to be running back down here. If you run down before loading, then you have a chance to see if Hector's swapped missions. I'm not sure if that's something, it doesn't look like it's something I'm even going to do here, which was an error in my way. I should have ran back in and talked to Hector and seen if he changed missions. I've thought about cutting these load scenes out, but I really like bringing you this footage unedited if I can. That way you can see that I'm demonstrating truth and I'm not cutting stuff and splicing it together in order to create a scenario. This is actually something that you can do and that I have done, and this is a video evidence of it. That being said, since we are on a loading screen, would be a good time if you're new here to hit that subscribe button. For returning viewers and subscribers, I really appreciate you. Thank you for hitting that button. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for sticking around for 14 minutes and listening to me yabber on once again about another hunt. What do you think? What is your opinion? Should I cut out these load scenes? Should I time-lapse these load scenes? What is your opinion on how I should handle load scenes in these videos? Also, I'm curious, when I'm traveling from one point to another, you'll see later in the video, I fast travel. And I don't fast travel. I put my horse into scenic mode. I go to scenic mode with the camera, and my horse just auto runs. And I zoom out to the map so we can just like get an overview of where I'm traveling across the country. Should I time lapse that as well, or do you prefer the entire hunt to be in real time? because you do have the option as a viewer to go to the setting of the video and time lapse it yourself. You can put this into fast forward so that the video is accelerated at your own choice without me doing it. And then would you rather just have the raw footage so you can make the choice on your own time? Or do you like to just sit back, and would you prefer I did it for you? Leave a comment down below and let me know what your opinion is. What is your preference regarding time lapsing? Here we are again in a new session, grabbing my moonshine, having my canned beef. You want to eat that. You want to eat something every load. I don't think I mentioned it earlier in the video, but you want to eat something every time you do a free roam. Because if you don't, you're going to lose weight. When you lose weight, you lose damage resistance. You die easier. Ideally, you want to be overweight, so when you go in and look at your character, it shows red. So now we've got a mission. We've got an on the hunt mission here. It's the Cougar mission. This is the hunt which I had an idea about how to do a similar thing as to what I was doing here with the wolf mission. But see, we have some problems with this mission, okay? We can't hunt and take stuff to the butcher during the Cougar mission. It's too far away from a butcher. It's just not, it's not going to work. Second is we can't hunt and put stuff on our horse and then after the mission run to the butcher either. And the reason for that is because after you load out of the mission, anything on your horse vanishes, which is strange to me. I had stuff on there and I was a little disappointed when it was gone. Now, I don't know, I haven't tested it repeatedly. It might be possible that sometimes it doesn't vanish, but in the one time that I did test it, and I haven't even bothered testing it again, it did vanish. I lost it. And that was just a couple days ago, so that wasn't a couple weeks ago where it could have been patched. That was too recent to have been changed since I experienced it. So what I'm thinking is, after we kill the Cougar, we have to go to McFarland's ranch. You can see that it's over on the east side of New Austin there. Now I'm looking over in that area, but like McFarland's ranch is not far from lower river, the lower Montana River. And it looks like there's some access points to the water there. So after we kill the Cougar, we head over there. We could do some fishing, because fish will go into our satchel. We will be able to take those fish later to the butcher at our own leisure. We wouldn't lose them off of our horse after completing the mission. So I went in that area. Later in this video, you're going to see me explore that area. However, I don't do any fishing because I figured that would have been a little irresponsible of me just to assume pulling my fishing pole out was the best thing I could do over there. Okay, so I did a little exploring instead. And I happened across a panther, which I didn't know was even over in that area. So what I'm thinking is perhaps after ending the mission, going and picking and killing that panther and loading it up on my horse after the mission, that it might be then worth just setting the horse on auto run again and running all the way back over to Tumbleweed with a nice panther on the horse. And if it's a 3-star panther, then it would almost be worth the time just to kick back and let the horse auto run back to Tumbleweed. Alternatively, you could just hunt small game that you can skin and throw in your satchel, and that would earn you XP per kill as well. Small birds, squirrels, rabbit pelts, raccoon pelts, possum pelts, muskrat pelts, you name it, whatever you can find, you know, small and varmint-like that you can skin and throw in the satchel is an option for you to hunt as well. So now that we're into the cougar area, an important point you should know is you have to find 3 clues in this area. You can see a timer started at the top of the screen. We have 20 minutes, which is more than enough time here. But the 3 clues, each of them will have a vulture on them. So have your varmint rifle out and ready, because you're going to want to kill that vulture. See, there it goes flying off, and I'm in eagle eye mode trying to get a beat on it, and for some reason my gun like just is not working. The bird mysteriously flies into the rock, which I've seen happen before, and kills itself for me. Luckily, because my gun was not working right. I don't know. Maybe my horse's head was in the way, blocking where I wanted to aim. I don't know. My gun was not letting me look down sights there. So this is the first of 3 clues. All 3 clues, like I just said, will have a vulture, so be ready to kill that vulture. Those feathers are going to be extra money that you're going to be getting for this mission. Each one of them is like $1.20, I think, or $1.50. We'll have to check when we get to the butcher later and see what they are. But you're looking at 9 feathers altogether. So if they're $1.20, then you're looking at $10.80 for 9 feathers. If they're $1.50, then you're looking at $13.50 for your 9 feathers. So I'm not sure which they are, but either way, $10 or $13.50, it doesn't matter. It's worth being ready for that opportunity. You want to bag those birds. You'll notice too that they're mission vultures, because when you go to pick them up, there's no stars, there's no ratings. It's not a 1-star, it's not a 2-star, it's not a 3-star, it's just a bird. And when you see that, you know that it's a mission animal and not a wild animal. After skinning that up, we want to make sure we go examine the second clue. So run up here. I'm actually doing these clues out of the normal order. I missed the first one. I mean, they're not like clue number 1, clue number 2, clue number 3. Rockstar didn't put them in a numerical order where it matters which ones you get them in. But I have a preferred way of finding them, so that the clue that we just found, which is the second clue that we just found there, usually is the last clue that I find. And then I'm up on top of that little hill when the cougar comes out, and I know exactly where it's coming from. I'm just used to hunting it from that spot. I am not used to hunting it from this spot. So I'm going to not even really be sure of where the cat is when it spawns here. I'm going to actually have to hunt it and like figure out where this puppy is. After finding the third clue, or you don't have to really even find the clues, you could just hang out and wait for the timer to go down. Eventually the cat will spawn. But either way, waiting or after finding the third clue, the cat will spawn, and it will say investigate the noise. As you see, you've probably all gone through this before and know this entire process. This is just like hunting a legendary animal in the story mode. So it shows the red dot on the radar, but I do not see the cat over there. I'm going to have to go investigate the noise. Using Eagle Eye, I'm still not even seeing indication of where this animal is. These will take a lot of damage to kill. I am using explosive ammo, and even then, I've sometimes had to take 2 shots. If you don't get a headshot with explosive ammo, then you often need to take a second shot at them as well. So I try and go for that headshot, and I don't even care. I'll burn the explosive ammo just to make it an easy kill, because I don't need to get killed myself. It's a waste of time, and I have an option of just taking it down with one shot, I'm going to take that option. I've tried other options like stacking damage cards with Focus Fire and Landon's Patience and Peak Condition and Horseman, like all four of those at once, and then I forget to turn Deadeye on, so then Focus Fire doesn't help me. But even with the other 3 damage cards, using Rolling Block, I believe I used, I still could not one-shot this guy with regular ammo. So I just use an explosive round and try and get it in one. I'm setting the waypoint to go check out this fishing spot. Now, I've not gone and fished this spot. This is going to be my first exploration of this area. Like I said, I'm going to come across the panther, and I'm thinking the thing to do over here is going to be fishing. Now, what I was looking for when I was exploring, which I thought would have been an interesting tactic, was somewhere to put the carcass down and do some carcass fishing. Because how neat would that be to use a legendary animal to do carcass fishing, right? I just thought that would have been kind of icing on the cake to, you know, put that in the title that you can earn gold carcass fishing. But I did not find an ideal location for that activity over there. If anybody does know of a spot right in that area there that we can do some carcass fishing, then let me know, because I'd be very interested in knowing about it. That would make for a good video. But since I didn't find a spot to carcass fish, I'm thinking the thing to do is just to pull a fishing pole out. And while you're waiting for the time to go down, do some fishing. I think that I hit the nail on the head when I had my first instinct on how to do this. And then afterwards, you could go over. I found that panther over in Stillwater Creek. You'll see the footage. It's coming up here in a little bit. But I don't really have too much more to add to this video. If you want to see what I think is a little better method for working this, as far as like the mission that you're getting, I like the wolf method better because it's a lot less traveling across the map. You're going to be making more money once you actually get the on the hunt mission, but unfortunately you can't choose which on the hunt mission. You talk to Hector and he says, you know, I have an on the hunt mission, and you're like, okay, I either accept it or not accept. It doesn't tell you it's going to be a cougar. It doesn't tell you it's going to be a wolf. You have no way of knowing what you're accepting, and once you accept it, he'll gray out to where you can't go back to him for a certain period of time. I don't know if it's like a half hour or 45 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour. I don't know. But he will gray out, so you can't talk to him again. Even if you switch servers, he will still be grayed out for a time period. So if you get the cougar mission, you might as well just go ahead and do it. You're not going to be earning as much cash or XP as if you got the wolf mission, but you're still going to be earning 24 gold. It's going to take you longer. Well, you know, you can get more than 24 gold. I know as much as 0.32 gold for one of these missions, but I maybe one time got 0.36. I feel like I did one time, and I think I clipped it on my Xbox, but then I deleted all my Xbox clips to make room for stuff, and it's gone now. But for some reason, I feel like I did get 0.36 one time for running these missions. If anybody has any screenshots or something of getting 0.36 on this, you know, post a link to it down in the comments. Let me check that out, because it'd be nice to know the price range. I feel like 0.24 is the lowest you're going to get, but maybe 0.20 is even possible. I don't know. It goes in increments of 0.04 gold, the payouts do. So something like 0.24, 0.28, 0.32, 0.36, 0.20, you know, those are all increments of 0.04. But that's about all I have to add here. When I do figure out a rock solid method with this cougar hunt, I will be posting another video. It will have a title where it does not include the gold, money, and XP per hour. It will just say earn gold, money, and XP hunting full guide, just like the previous guide I put out is. But this video is going to be slotted in with the rest of the vlogs because I don't feel like it's good enough to actually go all out guide on it. Because we do need to optimize this. So if anybody has any ideas on how to optimize this better and increase profitability in this hunt, I am all ears. Please leave a comment below and let me know what's on your mind. What are you thinking would make this better? Till then, happy hunting. This is the Last Deadeye. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for coming in and watching. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Fine morning, partner. Seems like every other fella. Ain't nothing special, but that a damn good pelt there. See a fair amount of that lately. Seems like every other fella tries to sell me one of these. See a fair amount of that lately.